Hey, it's Anthony Iannarino, thesalesblog.com, right here, youtube.com/Iannarino, author of The Only Sales Guide You'll Ever Need, and now The Lost Art of Closing, Winning the 10 Commitments That Drive Sales. And today, I spent a good part of the day, maybe as much as a couple hours, responding to emails from people who pre-ordered the book and got the workbook and got invited to the Facebook group, and who picked up the videos, and they're all telling me how great the workbook is and how helpful it's going to be. But I have to reply to every one of them, because if you were kind enough to pre-order the book, then I have to respond and express my gratitude. It's humbling to have people care enough about your work to buy the book, but to send a note and talk about the book is just, it's overwhelming. So thank you so much for that. While I've been here, though, I've been working, and I wrote a post for LinkedIn about why your sales process is broken. And this is probably one of the more important pieces I've ever posted on LinkedIn, because I don't spend a lot of time putting content on that particular platform, because I have the sales blog and that's my #1 platform. But I do want you to go and read this post, because it is aligned a lot with what's in the book, The Lost Art of Closing, and the 10 commitments, because things have changed in sales. And the way that we've traditionally approached the sales process is that it's linear. So it goes target, and then discover, and then solution development, and then presentation, and then negotiation, and then close, and then execution. And that served us pretty well for a long time. But if you've noticed, things have gotten more difficult, and it doesn't tend to move smoothly through that kind of a path. It tends to go back and forth and a little bit further, and then it stalls, and then it comes back to life. And there's all these things that happen to us along the path that aren't written down anywhere, because the sales process is perceived as being linear. And it typically starts with a slide, and on the left side of the slide, which would be this side for you, I think, you get target. And then you move to the right all the way until you get to close. But it doesn't really work that way. So the linearity is now gone, because anytime you add humans to anything, it goes nonlinear. And what tends to happen to us now is we engage with a client, and we have a nice discovery meeting, and then we start looking at the solution together, and then all of a sudden we get another stakeholder, and we're back to doing a different level of discovery. Then we start collaborating with a small group of people, and then somebody else invites another person to the meeting, and all of a sudden we're back doing another kind of discovery, because we have a different group of stakeholders in the room. And maybe it's somebody horizontal, and by that I mean somebody who's in marketing, and now we're bringing in somebody from IT, and we're starting to have different people with different needs show up. So we're doing an additional discovery, even though we may have already presented a solution that we liked and that the client liked. And so the nonlinearity means that the sales process and the way that we've thought about it is no longer agile enough, and it's no longer dynamic enough for human interactions that are as complicated as the commercial relationships that we initiate and maintain now. And one of the reasons I think this book is so important is because when you start looking at it through the lens of the 10 commitments, you start to understand that the linearity doesn't matter as much as, can I control the process? Can I get agreement on the process? Can I manage all these unassumed expectations or surprises that come along? Sometimes not surprises. Sometimes we know that once we start adding stakeholders, it's going to get tricky and sticky from that point forward. But we need a plan to manage this. And I think for those of us that think about sales improvement, and for those of us that are in the game actually playing, it means we need to start thinking about how we create people who can take initiative, who can be resourceful, and can understand the outcome of controlling the process when it leaves the clean little boxes that we have on a PowerPoint deck. And if you think about the process as a roadmap, I challenge you to think of it as a GPS, because most of the time now we're in that area where the GPS would say, I'm sorry, but turn-by-turn directions are no longer available in this area. And that's what we do in sales. So go check that out on LinkedIn. If you go to my profile, you'll see it. And I don't remember the name, but I'll pull it up here for you. I think it's called Why Your Linear Sales Process is Broken, so you can find that. We'll put a link here. I'm Anthony Iannarino. Thanks so much for your help and support with the book. I'll see you back here tomorrow, because this is every day.